So, if you went to your boss and basically said you lost nearly $200 billion, what do you think their response would be? Well, that just happened today with Meta losing over or about $200 billion in market cap in a matter of moments. Meta today, when the earnings press release was released, fell about 13% to the low about 20% and then 17% at the time of recording this video. However, before all the Meta bulls come out of the woodworks and say it beat earnings and all this, well, we'll talk about Meta in just a second, but do you guys actually know who had the largest record of market cap increase in the last decade? It's actually Meta. Meta, if you guys remember, if we go to a 4-hour chart, do you guys remember this earnings back here? It's very interesting, right? Where if we look at this on a larger time frame, massive beat up, island pattern form, and then slam down. So it's very, very, very interesting. And we're going to be talking about how this can be bullish. We're going to be talking about where Meta could be going. We're going to be talking about the market as a whole, what it did, what we violated. So it's going to be a fun one today, guys. We got a lot to talk about. But looking at this is very, very funny to me. I don't know if you guys get a kick out of it. Throw it down in the comment section below if you find this pattern funny. I kind of do. But let's get into Meta, right? Let's take a look at what actually happened with their earnings. So as we can see here, when we look at Meta, GAAP EPS of $4.71 beats by 0.39, revenue of 36.46 billion beats by 240 million. So they beat their revenue by exactly what their market cap sell off. That is kind of funny. But guys, this is one of those times that it's very, very rough to deal in the market. And you really need someone to give you a very bullish and bearish approach, kind of walking that middle, because I've been living under a rock today. So I'm a perfect example to give you what a unbiased approach is, and we try to give our audience both the bull and the bear thesis and just let you guys pick which one you want to play until that thesis then breaks. So if you guys would not mind having the bell notifications on and hit the subscribe button while you're down there, it really helps the channel out. And also, if you're enjoying this, the like button as well, it really helps this video go out to more and more people, because I'm trying to just give you the levels and have you guys decide. I'm not trying to push a course. We're not trying to push anything. We're just giving you information. Use it to your advantage as you see fit. But looking at this revenue year over year, 27% year over year, massive beat on revenue for Meta. Their shares down 8% at the time of this article coming out, 15. But again, it could be completely different when you guys are seeing it. We see family data active people was 3.24 billion on average for March 24, an increase of 7%. So there really isn't bad news until you get to the forward guidance, which they basically anticipated higher expenditures than everyone was expecting from AI and moderate revenue growth. So they weren't really a massive beat on the revenue, and that's what tremendously disappointed. And just recapping real quick, right? Remember what happened to Netflix, guys? Crap, dead cat bounce, crap again. In sympathy plate to Meta, of course. We can look at Microsoft that were having earnings into the following day, well, the time of this video going live, we can see that. And yeah, this is not looking healthy. You're below the 50-day moving average. Meta, similar story, right? Was below the 50-day moving average going into earnings, rejected off of it, and then slammed back down. You got Google just kind of staying in this area, so Google could be the one that's bullish for tomorrow. But enough about what these companies could be doing. We're going to be doing a live stream the day of the release of this video, so 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys tune in for that. I will not be there for that one, but Fatal will be, because I have a out of real life obligation. So again, I apologize for that. But then again, catch us on some of the other streams, and I'll talk about my Visa play that I quickly did, right? So I closed it on open when we opened around the 280 mark, and basically it said sayonara. Visa just sold off, even though they had pretty stellar earnings. At that, really not finding bullishness, especially with the Meta, didn't help either. So recapping the day, right? Massive day for Visa there. But let's talk about S&P. We talked about these levels in the week in deep dive. Link down in the description below, guys, if you want to understand how these levels come about and a little more detailed information. So we're not below 504.75 on the close of the day. Why do I emphasize the close of the day? Because tomorrow the bulls can rescue this. There is potential, and we're going to go over some of the news that could be coming our way. So just refreshing everyone about this. We do have GDP coming out at the time of this video. It would have already been released. So make sure you guys pay attention to that, see what the market is actually doing. If GDP came in better or worse, what is the reaction we're going to be looking at? We have initial jobless claims, but really that hasn't moved anything when GDP is on deck. So that's going to be, I believe, a more important number. And then pending home sales as well coming out at 10 o'clock. So be aware of those news events that are coming. And then Friday is the core PCE and PC expectations. We covered this on the weekend deep dive. We're expecting flat for core, or at least I am. Fatal's expecting a more hawkish approach for it, and then PC to come in 2.7 for both, or he's saying 2.8. So we'll see who's right about that. So make sure you guys check out the weekend deep dive to get more of that detail. But really, that's your two main catalyst events that are coming out this week. And here's the problem, right? We're at post-market 205.50. There's a lot of bearish sentiment, and we covered this on the stream, right? The fear and greed index did not really move yesterday, and it didn't move today. So the teams are fighting right now. And that is telling me that we have a higher reading now. So there's possibility for a bullishness, but it was a bullish or somewhat bullish deck with tech closing higher. So it skewed this metric. So we have to see what this is going to do on open tomorrow and see a lot of things, right? But main thing, the VIX. The VIX is kind of saying, I ain't dead yet. And looking at this, it could really come to bite us in the butt because this thing's going to rotate up higher, especially with Meta earnings. Now it's going to put Microsoft, Google into question. If those companies disappoint, then going into PC, and if PC doesn't save you, right? Like you're setting a lot of these like what if scenarios that is not how you trade. It's not how you invest. It's like hoping is not a strategy, right? Looking at the levels and playing the levels is a strategy, right? So if we talk about today, we're not talking about Meta. We're not talking about Meta. We're talking about the exact day what happened. And let's go into the 50-minute chart, right? So we can see that prior to close right here, we were basically above the key level. We kind of danced with it all day, violating, but then you kind of got a rejection lower, break above, bounce off, come higher, trying to form that W, but then Meta just flushes you lower. So we're going to have to see how the markets react. I do think we're going to get a 504.7 retest, and that will be an easy short for everyone if you're going to be shorting at this level. Basically, the bulls are going to jump into the bear's mouth. They're going to be the impatient ones while the bears are going to be the patient ones, right? I talked about this in multiple weekend deep dives that the pendulum is basically swinging back, and that speculative positions are net long. The market is the transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient, as Warren Buffett says. So who's being more patient right now? The bears are being more patient. They're not over positioning because they got roasted recently all the way on this rally up. However, the bulls are more exposed now, so the market is looking to take their money because the market's job is just to take the most amount of money from most amount of people in the shortest amount of time possible. So right now, this is looking awfully like a dead cat bounce. Now, for you guys, how would you know this is not dead cat bounce? Close above 509.08 into Friday. As simple as that. Then the 50 days in reach, we can go to the 50, and we could possibly break it, especially with PC catalyzing. If we have a bullish run into Thursday going into Friday, and PC then ignites a further rally, then yeah, we could very easily get above that 50. Once we get above that 50, I definitely see blue sky breakout ahead. I would not be questioning that in any way, shape, or form to that. Similar to tech, right? Tech just kind of holding that area, close above the 9, fell right back below. So tomorrow is going to be a very critical day. If we continue to sell off into tonight, into Asia, and then we open red, right? We gap down, or let's say we buy the bullishness back up, but then crap right through the day, especially with that GDP number, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. And that's going to be the sign that things are not as healthy. On top of, if we look at the Russell, right? Russell had a red day today. That means that the broader market was not rallying with you except the top 7 stocks because everyone's thinking Meta is going to be the most bullish, right? Meta's going to beat. There's your 17% haircut. So what does that mean for the market if we continue down lower, right? Just jumping back to this. Well, standard, we get 110% correction during the year. So S&P's standard 10% correction would bring you back down to the 470 number, violating 480. And that would be pretty darn bad. Now, let's say this is an A to B pattern on the way down, right? So A to B, B to C leg, completing once we break the low of 493.86 confirmation with closing below and completing at 476.62, which would break 480, violation of 480. Then we're looking at that 200 and then more bearishness ahead. If you make it all the way back down here and don't bounce off 480 or even react to 480, then I'm basically going to be saying, yeah, I have to look net bearish at that point. Right now, we are being cautious. We don't necessarily go full bear exposure. We also don't go full bull exposure. If you bought this dip back here, how the market was moving, and I played bullish and I played bearish on this run up, you made money, right? There's possibility to make money, but there's other things we also have to look at, right? So if we look at Bitcoin real quick, this is not a healthy move, right? We're not seeing Bitcoin really holding that 50, and we're basically chopping around it. We've seen where this could fall apart. We talked about VIX. Let's just quickly recap the yields of what yields are doing. Just looking at the 2-year rate, this is looking like it's bull flagging out and getting ready into PCE. So this is basically my earning warning sign that PCE could be coming in very poorly. We got the 30-year looking like it wants to go higher, the 20 and the 10 all looking like they want to go higher. The bond market is telling me yields go higher, which means PCE going to come in what, guys? So make sure you pay attention to the bond market going into that PCE number. And as always, we'll keep you guys updated on this. Fatal will give you the stream for Google and Microsoft, along with one other company. I don't know exactly which one he's going to cover, but make sure you guys stay tuned for that, 7 p.m. Eastern today. And then I will have a PCE video for you Saturday morning. So when you wake up and have your nice cup of coffee or tea, depending on what you enjoy, then you can listen to what happened with PC, where we're going, and kind of give that too long didn't read version of what levels you got to pay attention to next week. And then following, the weekend deep dive will be out on Sunday like usual. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the live stream. Well, I won't see you, Fatal will, and I hope to see you in the next video. So have a wonderful day.